Here at the Free Dialogue podcast, we love the company of beautiful people. So today I am with our beautiful guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm by the name of Hala from South Sudan, and I'm honored to be at Free Dialogue. Thank you.
Hala Itakwes?
Anatamam Kefik.
Anatamam. So, as an African woman, in your opinion, what does it mean to say that you are an African woman?
Oh, okay, good question. African woman. I would say Hala as an African woman.
Yes.
Yes, that's so comforting. There are actually lots of great things about being an African woman. I would say you're strong. African women are strong. They face all challenges, but they manage to come through it.
Yes.
And I would say they're resilient. They're empowering women. You know, they are family ties. You know, the empathy. Women are really a great deal like in the society. So I would say being an African woman like it's a prestige that women who are from Africa carry. You see, whenever they have conversations, they'll be like, "Don't talk to me, do you know me?" They'll be doing that. Yo, I'm an African woman. This can't hold me down, you know?
Yes.
They use that such words, yeah. So that's why I would say, yeah, it's really great to be an African woman.
Indeed, the definition of being an African woman is knowing your strength. So Hala, what would you say are the ups and downs of being an African woman? What is, in your opinion, the best part versus what is the worst part of it?
I would say the best part about being an African woman is to stand out. Like I would say, women stand up. African women, when you see them in public, the look just speaks for itself.
You just know that she's from Africa.
Hey, the nyash.
There's no
The
denying
physique,
that.
the
Yes.
hair, the color, and the beauty that they carry with them, with their morals and the way they behave in public. So those are the best parts of being an African woman, a unique person on planet Earth, I would say. And the worst part is, I would say, most African women are not hard because of cultural beliefs and morals, where they tend to believe that in families, always, you know, the male is superior. So I would say that that's the worst part. But hey, things are changing, people are evolving. So that's quite a challenge, but even if it keeps on going, people, even if they tend to change a bit, but it keeps on happening. So that's what I would say.
The submission issue is really a big deal because we see women submitting to things that normal people in their normal state wouldn't normally submit to, just because they feel like they have to, because it's a cultural norm. So I really do understand where you're coming from. So what would you say, in your personal opinion, is a challenge that you have faced being an African woman, being a woman from South Sudan?
The challenge that I have faced being a South Sudanese woman or an African lady. Great question. As there are very many problems that African women face, but mostly I would say empowerment. Like women empowerment as African women, women tend or have the ability to be leaders. They do, and they want that, but sometimes in some places they're not able to be any used to leadership or next to that king. But in some places though they do, mind you, but then that's another issue. Like women are really strong, they can make decisions, they're great people, like they have a lot they bring,
Women have a lot to offer.
They do a lot of things.
Yes.
So I would say if they could give them the chance to stand up and try to lead, I think that would be a great change. So those are the problems they're facing.
Oftentimes we're told that women are seen as a weakness in high powers because we are emotional.
Yes,
we're told that we're emotional. Yes,
the
they're always
emotion
bring that.
card, but that's just, I guess, an excuse.
I think it actually makes a person a better leader to understand the emotions of their people. So let's talk about the motherland. Let's talk about Africa.
Yes.
If you had to invite somebody who's a foreigner to Africa, what would you tell them?
If I would like to invite them,
Yes.
I'll tell them to come and see Mama Africa. She's so beautiful. She has lots of wonders that the world has yet to cover.
Yes.
And they need to come and see what we actually have in Mama Africa. That's what I would say.
Also, considering that there's a lot of misconceptions about Africa. People are talking about how Africa doesn't have water, there's poverty in Africa. There's beautiful places in
That's
Africa.
really so true.
Yes. In your neighboring country, Uganda, there is this reel that was posted, that was trending on Instagram, and Uganda had beautiful, beautiful places to show off. And that isn't even the only country that's beautiful in Africa.
True, and you know, there is a reason why they call Uganda actually the Pearl of Africa. That's one thing I don't know. People, they do take note of that. Uganda is really a beautiful country. Actually, I grew up in Uganda.
Oh.
But so I would say, you know, they usually portray bad images of, you know, Africa, but like outside to the world.
Yes.
You see all that children starving
They take
and
the
all
worst.
that. Yes, true. But they don't know Africa is rich in, you know, culture, nature, the surroundings. We don't need to, like, I don't know. They don't see the beauty. They will never understand until they go to the country.
There's really so many good natural nature parks in
Yes.
Africa. My country included South Africa. There's really a lot of beauty and a lot of culture to see in Africa. So in your opinion, what would you say would be the most motivating thing for anyone to visit, or like if you had to intrigue them about wildlife, what would you tell them? What is it that Africa has to offer that other continents can't offer?
Great question. What I would say Africa offers the world that the world doesn't have. Maybe I would say some of in the wildlife sector, some of the animals all over the world, different countries too have them. But I don't know. But what I know, African is unique. So whatever animal that is there, they don't have it, and it's different. That's according to me. So yeah, I'll go with that. We have lots to offer them. Like some animals, maybe they could be extinct or something, but Africans do still have them.
Funny you should say that. Lesotho has footprints of extinct dinosaurs. So these are exhibitions that we have all over Africa that makes us unique, that makes us stand out, right?
Yes.
So, in talking about visiting Africa all in all, what would be what would you tell people is the ideal way to prepare for going to Africa?
The idea of how they would prepare. First of all, I'll tell them maybe a bit of the countries they should visit if they ever want to go to Africa. I would recommend for them Tanzania. They need to see the Serengeti, and they need to visit the Victoria Falls, and also I believe there are lots of countries in the south with game parks. So they need to see the wildlife. So I think subscribe for them some countries that they need to visit. Even I could say they could come to South Sudan. We have animals.
Of course. Who wouldn't want to put their own country up there? Because even I would advocate for Lesotho right now.
You should. You have to. You know, you just have to state like 5 or give 10 random stories, like different countries with great wildlife and everything to visit, and you'll be like, you need to check out these places. If you need more direction, I can show you. You need to show off Africa. So
it's worth showing off, it's worth putting on a pedestal. That is truly what I believe. So what would you say is something that is unique or misunderstood about Africa?
They think all Africans are poor.
That is the most common misconception.
True. That's a big problem. They think Africans are poor, Africans are stupid, or their IQ level is that low, but that's a total lie. And they think Africans will never evolve, but I think that's also another big lie they should be thinking of. Because one thing I know, not all Africans are poor.
That's true, because even
people are eating food, you know, they just putting pictures out there portraying us in the bad way, but I don't think they will ever know the truth until they come to Africa. People are eating, people are alive, they are great food, you know.
And there's great food too at that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I totally agree with you that there is misconception about Africa being poor. And I think it would surprise people a lot to learn that there's so much diversity in Africa. Because most people actually think Africa is one country, but it's actually a continent encompassing all these other countries.
Yes.
That is something that I would like other people to know about.
True, absolutely.
As we are heading towards Africa Day on 25th, this very same month of May, the theme is celebrating past successes while building towards the future. So, Hala, would you like to tell us about previous experiences in celebrations for Africa Day ever since you got here?
I would say the previous experiences I've got so far from the previous African days, they were really great. I got to learn, see, and involve in some activities that was really grateful, that I'm grateful to learn.
What does Africa Day mean to you as an individual personally?
Africa Day, according to me, would be a day we get to share our beliefs, tradition, and cultures.
Yes.
Which is of a great actually impact on the Africans that are abroad or in foreign countries, because they mostly are the ones that like promote the day and then celebrate it.
There's something about knowing a person personally, but there's also something about knowing their cultural background and their heritage.
Yes.
It makes you feel like you connect to them a lot more better, right? So what would you think people have to celebrate? Like, what is the key point of celebrating Africa Day?
The key point of celebrating African Day would be to show who is Africa. Yes, and their past experiences, and then what is Africa all about? What is Africa like? What are the contents in Africa? So
basically, we're bragging about the motherland.
Yes.
So what are the most important things that an African would have to know about Africa Day? Because it's not like all of us have the information about this day. So what do you think?
Really?
It happens that most people don't even know what we're celebrating on Africa Day. So what would be the main points of what we're celebrating?
Those who don't actually, the people who don't know maybe the full like information on what Africa Day is, or maybe they get to just hear of it, like maybe due to lack of information. I would say they should actually participate. They should, get to involve in all these activities that take place on that day, because in the process you get to learn more about where you come from, your people. There's this thing like, let me say I'm from South Sudan, and then I don't know much about African Day, and then I get to come to Graphic Era University, and then they do celebrate it like the coming one. So what I would do as an individual, I will go to my fellow countrymates, then have a conversation with them, sit, we practice, and get the ideas together to put out what South Sudan is on that day.
Yes.
Like to celebrate it like very well. So in the meantime, the person's like, I'm asking them, people are talking, bringing in the ideas. You get to be like, oh, okay, you get to learn new information. You're like, okay, I didn't know this before, you get to know more about your people.
So the key is to be teachable. It's to be curious about other countries.
Education, like people get to be educated.
Yes, because there's so much to learn about. Yes. If you could tell the audience one thing that you remember about your upcoming in Africa, what would it be? Not just in your household, but your community at large, being in South Sudan.
Could you kindly repeat the question, please?
If there is one thing that you could tell the audience that you find interesting about your upbringing in the community in South Sudan, what would it be that you would like to pick out that you think they wouldn't know?
Okay, thank you. The question is really great. What I would say, the morals and ways how a woman should be as a South Sudanese woman. They should come and check, like, people in different places have how they do, like how they respect people, or show how like the morals are from where they come from. So if you come to South Sudan, you see a way women behave differently. So I would say that yes, that's what I want people should come and notice, and view it like, yeah, this is what a Tanzanian lady would be like. This is how an African woman is, and this is a South Sudanese. This is a Lesotho, like that. Yeah, they'll be able to point out.
So basically, we as women here are representing the whole continent at large, with our morals, with our behaviors.
True.
I don't think that's something that we are all aware about, because considering some things.
What do you mean by that?
Let us move on to culture. What would you represent about your culture on Africa Day?
On Africa Day, I can't wait for that day. The whole week is as if it's moving slowly.
So slowly.
I'm just like, when is the day coming? Why
I've
is it
already
not
made
coming?
preparations for this day.
Yes.
I'm ready.
So I'll be like, well, I can't wait. When is African Day coming? Oh my goodness. So I'll go and sleep and then be like, tomorrow. No. Saturday. Oh my goodness.
So you have your moves ready, you have your outfit
I'm
ready.
excited. Even I go to go and do some practices for the dances. Like they're from different tribes, but I had to try them. However hard they are, because you have to. The waist needs to be smooth and it needs to be moving. Make sure that people are flexible. Not everyone is flexible.
Not everyone is
say
able to do that.
Yes, but I had to indulge myself and involve and force it. I need to do something.
And I'm your biggest cheerleader because I want to
need
see
to
you.
entertain you guys, show you what other people do out there, like bring Africa closer. Unity, actually, that's what I would say.
Speaking of unity, what would you say that, in a way, Africa Day has contributed to the unity of the Africans here in Graphic Era?
Africa Day has actually brought people together, and however much, like I would say an example right now, some people are still confused. Who is in charge? Who is going to be leading the agenda? How are we going to do the things? Someone is waiting for someone to raise up, like, hey guys, I'm the one doing this and this and this. But it's funny, regardless of lack of information on what's going to happen, these people are practicing, doing their trainings. They're already getting into it, to be ready. Just in case anyone says, guys, I'm here. We are rushing there with our names. I'll be like, yes, I'm going to perform. I'm going to do this and this and this. So it's like some people, when they don't see anyone coming to lead the agenda, they will be like, okay, so I'm not going to practice. I think there is no African Day happening, so nothing is going to happen, so let me just sit and relax. But no, people are not showing that energy. It's because they're excited to meet the day. They want to see how it's going to be this time. And the best part is people are many. So it's going to be a great event, and it's celebrating, like they're going to celebrate 2 days. Can you imagine? 2 days.
That is good.
We're going to have the girl sports.
That is something that I am looking forward to.
Yeah.
So since there are exhibitions of different cultures, different countries, what would you say this knowledge has helped you in a way? How has it helped you in seeing these different cultures exhibited?
I would say the best thing, or the thing that I get to learn the most, is the things, unique physical features or whatever that Africa has, the great things that Africa has to offer or give the world. I get to learn more about people's history, because during the exhibition people have literally cutouts from books, atlases, and the diagrams. They have it indeed. Like, we don't have to go against search on the net.
On the internet.
Yes, there is some African, your fellow sister, standing next to you and telling you all the information you need to know, and that's from a right source, because that person
Yes, we know. We
Yes.
are from there. One thing I'm excited about is the Lesotho people showing off their past kings, the heritage of the kingdom of Lesotho. That is one thing that I'm very excited in people knowing about, because not many people even know that it's a kingdom. Yes, so these are the things that we're excited to see. So let's talk about artwork. Let's talk about fashion. What are the things that excite you the most when it comes to artwork in terms of being an African woman?
Being an African woman, and then I would say women dress. Yes, African women have different styles that they dress in, and then you find the women get fashionable, that they find that you need to tie it all the way here, and the men just have to tie the waist, like around the waist, wrap it. Or you find the ladies have to do a two-piece thing. The two-piece thing. Africa's been having that thing. Muzungu didn't bring it, no. So you see how they get fashionable, and they put accessories like beads, earrings,
they go all the way out,
and even put beads around their heads, like the Rwandans. You should see a Rwandan in their traditional outfit. They look so pretty. So.
Right. And this is not just for the ladies. The men can also show up. If you're Nigerian, show up in your agbada. We'd be happy to see it.
Yes.
So let's talk about food. Food is what brings people together. And a good African meal involves meat. For me personally, that is what it means. So what are your ideas on how to make food for Africa Day, considering that there's an exhibition for food?
About food, I love food so much. I wouldn't say I love food, and I love trying food like from different regions of Africa and
Yes.
countries, like even from all over the world. I would try something, and maybe if it doesn't go well with me, then yes. But most of the food are really delicious because Africans have unique, dishes and cuisines and all that. That takes you right to Afrikiko. African Day is coming, so I know Afrikiko will be cooking. All these great dishes, they'll be doing that.
Even on a regular basis, Afrikiko provides amazing mouth-watering food. I, for one, have been a regular customer, and I know that they serve each time, and I eat it up. So, what are the recipes or the food items that you would recommend from South Sudan?
From South Sudan, great. From South Sudan, we have lots of delicious meals from there.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I would recommend something, that would be more of there's the dish they call it combo something.
Okay.
Vegetables and with the peanut paste and all that. So that it's delicious. So I'm sure if they bring that food out, you'll see the South Sudanese, our meal. Yes, who doesn't love the home cooked meal? Most people miss it. Right now, if I rush home, I'll be eating food from home. I would be happy, really, very. So I'll say people should, like, from South Sudan, I would recommend combo, and then something like kudra or bamia, which is okra. You people are familiar with it, I'm sure.
We are familiar with okra. So, what would you say, apart from South Sudanese food,
Yes.
what are the foods that you enjoyed from other countries in the previous Africa Day celebrations?
Okay, from the previous African Day, I'll say from the Ugandans, matoke. But there was this dish, the one I tried, it was papa chakalaka.
Oh,
My
yes.
goodness, with meat. That food, that one. It was really delicious. I had to, tell me. At the exhibition,
Give me more.
They give you the details as you taste.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be like, what are you saying? As I get into my meat.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
I was just eating. I was like, really? People cook. Countries like they provide all these meals, and then
We go all the way out when it comes to our food.
Yes.
So, what would you say, for you personally, is a meal that you would cook the most in your household once you have your own home?
I would not have a favorite meal because I love food and I eat most of the things. So it might be changing like with seasons.
There needs to be variety.
But yes, but I would say if favorite, anything but that my mom cooks, that would be my favorite. Anything, literally, doesn't have to be a specific food. Just anything she'll be cooking, as long as
It's from her
cooking.
hand.
That's
There's something about a mother's cooking.
True,
There
true.
is.
And guys, future mothers are cooking for you right at Afrikiko. So it's still mama thing. Mama is cooking. So you should come and feel the flavors too. You see?
Yes, there still is a taste of home here
Yes.
in Dehradun in Afrikiko. So, as we head towards closing, how would you say that you have experienced life here in India, and how is your experience with keeping up with the moving times, considering that you've been here for a while?
Great question. All this time I've been in India, it's 3 years only. Things have been okay, challenging sometimes, of course, because it's not my land.
It's
foreign.
yeah.
So, but still, as I told you before, African women are strong and resilient. I'm telling you, through the challenges, we'll pass.
Look at how far you've made it.
I have to be better. No matter anything that comes your way, you'll be like, You just, you're strong, you can do it. That's one thing people should know, is that courage is within us all.
Yes.
Yes, as long as we are honest with ourselves, and not only with ourselves but with our feelings as well. So if we are honest with ourselves, trust me, life would be for you as smooth as it can be in India, for as long as you are here until you go back home.
Another thing that I would like to talk about is the fact that for the previous 2 years, the first 2 years that you were here, there was no restaurant that was providing African cuisine. Now there is.
Yes.
And now that we are here being hosted by the restaurant itself,
Talk about that.
Yes, what would you say is what you enjoy the most about having an African restaurant here in Dehradun?
Okay, what I would say is I get to eat meat.
Yes.
I get to eat meat. Not only that, I get to feel the experience, like African experience.
Yes, because the dishes are not only from one country.
True, they are
Yes.
from very many countries, and then that's what I get to feel like. I get to feel everything about Africa.
And the ambience is very welcoming.
True.
Yes.
That's what I'm telling you. Hospitality.
As we head towards the conclusion, Hala, would you be able to list 10 countries from Africa?
Yes. Uganda, South Sudan, Chad, Nigeria, Niger, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and then I'll say Zambia, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Malawi. There are
Girl,
many.
we have beef now because you didn't call my country. No,
Yes,
thank you. That should have actually been the first one that you started with
Give me a reason why.
because of the beautiful girls from Lesotho.
Okay.
Which leads me to my next question.
Yeah.
By far, which country would you never date from?
I actually don't have a specific country that I would say I would never date from because to judge from the perspective of people have different behaviors. There are good people and bad. So I would say I would go with how someone treats you. So who knows, from South Sudan I'll be treated well, or from Ghana I'll be treated well, and I might be treated badly with someone from South Africa or maybe Namibia, like that. It just depends on how people are, who people are, how they
Their own personality and
yes,
what they portray.
personality and how they treat women, and then yes.
So, what's your view on being in a marriage with somebody who speaks a different language from you? That means your in-laws can communicate and you don't even understand what's going on.
I have to learn that language. I'm telling you.
A lot of
It will be a
things.
challenge actually. But then still, no. If you love the person, I'm sure you will have to stay with the person. So just actually, let me even not go into that farm with marriage. Here, people are of different tribes and cultures, and you know they don't speak the same language.
That's true.
So you're dating from someone like from, I don't know, Uganda, South Sudan, or Nigeria, like that. So what language are you using? English for now,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So if you go deep into the relationship like that, you'll have to learn his language. Now you said hi to me in the beginning. What did you say?
That has nothing to do with
It doesn't have
my business.
anything to do with dating. I can wake up in the morning and go to a Zimbabwe person and I'll be like Ndepi, you know?
What do you say?
What
These
you
are
say?
things
You
that
see?
we learn
Uh-huh.
on the way. Yes.
Like that. So maybe I'll go to how far. You see, people have, that's the way. Not that I'll be dating the person and I'll learn who the person is. That's the whole thing.
Girl, for me personally, I don't think I would date somebody who speaks pidgin English because am I ever gonna hear what they're saying?
Yeah, with love you'll understand. Trust me. people who don't mind people who are in relationships. They would. Someone will start even speaking that pidgin for you, or you start speaking it very well, and would be surprised. You'll be like, Melo, since when? You see?
That is true. People do questionable things when they are deep in the trenches.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a fun fact about Africa. How many currencies do you know from Africa?
I don't know many of the currencies, but I would say the ones I'm familiar with would be the shillings, the
Tanzanian
pounds,
and Kenyan shillings.
Kenyan and Uganda as well. Most of the East African people, they use shillings. Yes, that's what I would say. And then I know pounds. That's from my side, and the other Arab countries. We have the nairas
From Nigeria, yes.
Then I would say, yeah, those are the few ones I know.
The Sotos use maluti. The South Africans
What
use
is it
rands. Maluti.
Maluti.
Yes.
Now you see, I'm learning.
That's the fun part
That's the
of
thing.
this Africa Day. You get to learn
Yes.
that even the Zambians and the Malawian actually share the kwacha, but
Though-
it's different.
Okay,
Yeah, the
interesting.
division is Malawian kwacha and Zambian kwacha. These are things that we get to learn. These are things that we have exposure of with this upcoming Africa Day.
They could be
Yes.
even exhibited, like put in the table. I'd see that money of yours, and I'd be like, okay, this is how it looks like. It's great. That's how we get to learn more about other countries and their heritage and all that. Yes. Or maybe I'll carry my cowrie shells. You know, that's our first currency.
Really?
Yeah, as Africans.
Okay, so as we head towards the end, what would you say as an African lady is one thing that you've kept away from African men? As a secret or in any case, something that you wouldn't want an African man to know.
I don't think so. There is a straight answer to that. That is quite tricky. But I don't see, if in my own perspective or the way I see things, what would it be that I would like to keep from an African man not to know? I don't think so. There is anything that is of more value or what. I guess if you get to meet someone, you're supposed to be an open book to them, right?
Right.
The first step is trust. So why should I keep something from my person? No, you see,
Most ladies keep the price of their wigs as a secret.
why should you keep that? I need you to know the price.
So you can buy it.
So you can know the money you have to give me. He will know, yes, she needs a wig and the price is this. So he has to arrange that cash for you. Yes, you don't have to keep that as a secret. No.
So that's something that should be in broad daylight.
Even if he doesn't want to know, you just...
You mentioned it in person.
You
Baby,
just
you
have
know.
to put it somewhere so you can notice the pricing.
Just
And
so
some
you know.
women feel comfortable in the price of their wigs or stuff they purchase are out, like for people to know, because they feel maybe others feel expensive.
Yes,
I'll
they
be
feel
moving around,
sophisticated
you'll
with
be
it.
like, my hair is 1,000 USD. You see?
That is something
that
that-
pride
that
we're
has
having.
pride,
So,
yes.
So yeah, that's what I would say. So you should keep your things, give him, let him
Be
know.
an open
Be an
book.
open book. I guess that's where trust is built.
And with that, I would like to thank you for gracing us with your presence. And a huge shout out to Afrikiko for hosting us. This has been the Free Dialogue Podcast with Mello.